Hello. I hope your drive was well today. My name is Aylin Cruz and I will be your therapist.
Hi, yeah. There was a lot of traffic, but it's okay. My name is Aylin Cruz. Nice to meet you. We have the same last name. That's cool.
I know, I noticed that. That's really nice. Are you able to tell me a little bit about yourself? Like maybe some hobbies or some interest?
Yeah. I really like to read. I like going to the park and stuff. Um, I just graduated this past summer with my undergrad in psychology. That's kind of where I'm at right now.
That's
Yeah.
really awesome. It's nice to hear that you graduated and you completed like a big accomplishment in your life. I'm glad
Thank
to
you.
hear that. And what brings you into therapy today?
Well, I've been feeling a little lost and a little sad lately just because I didn't get into grad school like I wanted to. So that's kind of where I just don't really know what my future holds anymore. So I just been feeling lost. So that's why I'm here.
Well, are you able to describe these feelings of feeling lost?
Yeah, well, my parents and my family in general just have always put so much pressure and expectations on me that they're always like, "Oh, you're the one that's gonna be the one with the money. You're the one that's gonna have like a good future." And so now that I feel like I didn't get accepted into grad school and I really wanted to become a therapist, I just feel lost in that sense that I feel like I'm gonna let everyone down and I'm not sure what to do.
Hmm. I feel like it can be really challenging, especially letting your parents know that you didn't get accepted into grad school and just voicing that out there can be scary. Is that how you're feeling?
Yeah, 100%. My mom has been usually really understanding for the most part. It's just I'm a little just more scared of telling my dad that I didn't get in, just because he's always been a little more hard on me, just in general, like especially with school, like when I was in high school and I would get like straight A's and except like one B, it was always in math class. He would always point out like that B and then just make me feel really bad about it. So I think just telling him that I didn't get accepted into grad school is going to be really challenging for me.
Yeah, and I can understand why it can be challenging just because your father has actually created this role for you to take on as the perfect child, and just letting him know might create that sense of fear and also create like a little bit of nervousness and letting him know.
Yeah, exactly. I am the third child out of like four of us, and I am the only one that has ever gone to college. So I just feel like even in addition, like I get even more pressure on me on being like you said, like the perfect child. That's exactly how my dad kind of makes me feel like they're like I'm the only one now. Like my first two siblings didn't go to college, and my little sister already said that she wasn't gonna go. So I'm the only the only option, and it just puts a lot of pressure. It makes me really feel really anxious to tell him.
Have you ever considered on what your thoughts are? Like what would happen if you told your dad about not getting accepted into grad school?
Um, and not really, no. I haven't really like I've just been scared to even think about it. I just keep thinking like, oh, how am I gonna put it off? What am I gonna do? What excuse I'm gonna make? I honestly haven't really thought about telling him the truth.
Mhm. You know, that's totally normal, especially when having these high expectations as well. But you do have to realize that sometimes we do paint this image within ourselves and we think of so many negative things and outcomes that can happen. But what if the outcome that you're thinking right now isn't the outcome you will receive?
Yeah, that's true. I think I'm just thinking like, oh, where my mind goes because even just for myself, I just feel so guilty because I really wanted to get in to grad school, and it was my mistake of just applying to one and not applying to others like everyone suggested. And so I think it's just a little like I'm just being really hard on myself, which is something that I also do struggle with. But like thinking about it, like now I'm like, yeah, my dad has been pretty supportive for the most part. I know that he cares about me. And I think I'm just like kind of like over exaggerating how like I don't think he's actually gonna be like, oh my god, you really didn't get it. You're like the worst kid ever. You know. I don't think that's how he's gonna react. But I don't know why my mind goes that way. Sometimes.
Yeah, and it can create fear, especially just because you do have this expectation to fulfill. But like you said, you don't like you said, these intrusive thoughts are are what's getting in the way for you to tell this to your father as well.
Yeah, exactly. But I do think he's gonna be like, oh, like don't worry, you've always figured it out, and that's kind of like the advice that he usually does. That he does tell me. He's always like, oh, you always figure it out, and he always says like something cheesy. He's like, you're a Cruz. He's like, we always figure it out, stuff like that. So so I do think like just like coming out and telling him like. I didn't get in, but don't worry. Next, they always accept it every semester or certain schools do at least.
Yes, and that's actually a great way to voice it out to your dad and let him know about grad school and also this is something that was completely out of your control as well. And like you said, you are able to reapply and you can also maybe take some time off for yourself.
Yeah. Even I think even having like a gap year would be really nice, though in general, just because just this news that since I've gotten rejected, I've just been isolating myself.
Mhm.
So so I think it would be really good to take my mind off of it and hang out with some friends or travel somewhere or something like that.
Yes, that would be very great. And you also have to consider your accomplishments. Not everyone is able to complete their undergrad, and not everyone is pushed to pursue a graduate program straight after your undergrad. So that's very great of you to seek that as well.
Exactly. I'm like I did say like I hate that I have like those feelings of just being so hard on myself like that I forget that I have those little accomplishments like that. But it also does come from like just like my family just always constantly telling me like, oh like oh you're the one that's just gonna be successful and it's just so much pressure and so much weight on my shoulders that I kind of lose who I am and I'm kind of like, am I doing it for myself or am I doing it for them?
Hmm. Are you able to explain what you said that you lose who you are?
Yeah, so I just feel like I have to lead on the path of like success. Like I can't make little mistakes. I can't go out with friends instead of studying or instead of doing an application or something like that. That's gonna like expand my experience in the work or my chance my chance of getting into grad school. Like my whole 4 years of undergrad, how people explain how it's like the best time of their life sometimes. Like for me, it was like, oh no, I'm preparing for the next step, which is supposed to be grad school. So it's just I feel like I didn't get to find some part of my identity like I would have liked and made new friends and stuff like that just because I was always constantly worried about what they were going to tell me and what I was going to need to do next.
Hmm. And this could create a lot of challenges, especially when finding yourself and exploring that time within your undergrad. Have you maybe ever considered using this time to use it as exploring?
Yeah, and like how we were just talking about just a second ago, I think that it kind of will be good to take the time off, or even if it's just a semester and just just the normal young adult things, go out with my friends and just kind of make little mistakes and try not to worry about what my family is gonna think. Just because I know truthfully that I will reapply to grad school and I will just obviously like try my best to have a successful life. But no, realistically, like they don't expect me to be like a quadrillionaire, you know.
Yes, and it's very good that you're able to acknowledge that as well and acknowledge that, it's okay not to go to grad school and it's okay to tell dad that you didn't get accepted and it's okay to take that time for yourself as well.
I think I think I just have to keep reminding myself about that it's okay, like you said.
And also consider that we are only human and there's only a certain limit we're able to do as well. And we can't like drain ourselves with like constantly trying to like fulfill this perfect role as well. Because at the end of the day, it's draining towards you and it's not really helping you establish those desires you want to accomplish.
Yeah, and that's something I really am trying to work on. I constantly think about how stressed out I get when things are out of my control, and I have to remember that it's okay for me not to be in control all the time and not to have all these expectations about myself.
Mhm. Are there any like exercises you have considered on doing when these intrusive thoughts come into your mind?
I do like I said in the beginning, I like reading, so that kind of lets me kind of put my brain on the table for a little while. So so I am able to do that whenever I do get a little bit of intrusive thoughts, or I didn't mention it, but I do like crafting. I feel that kind of like puts my mind on the break a little while.
Mhm. And that's very good that you do have these hobbies as well that keep your mind distracted from those intrusive thoughts. And I feel like that's something you should really implement, especially when you're being so hard on yourself. Like just taking the time and reflecting and realize that you are just human and there is a limit to things we can do.
Yeah, that's true. I'm gonna try every time I kind of catch myself like thinking like, oh, like okay, Pam, you're being a little too hard on yourself. I'll try my best to like, I'll be like, okay, this is the time when I know I need a break.
Yeah, and that's really great that you're able to acknowledge that. And I praise you for that because not a lot of people are able to do that. Uh, Pam, it looks like our time is running out. So I will be meeting with you next week. So a little recap about this. You came in telling me that you're extremely overwhelmed with not being accepted into grad school and you feared of telling your father as well. Is that correct?
Yes.
Well, I hope you have a great day.
Thank you so much for your help and listening for to me rant.